Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and we are here to deliver an express edition of SCSR here today. Right now, currently in between Game 1 and 2 of a doubleheader between the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Detroit Tigers. Game 1 for the Bucs did not go well whatsoever. We will talk about that and break that down here in a couple of minutes. Also, we will talk about the latest news revolving around the Pittsburgh Steelers and Pittsburgh Penguins. Could the Steelers actually go out and get possibly the best asset on the trade market right now in the NFL? And also, could we see some trades made by the hockey team, the Pittsburgh Penguins here? Moves, extensions, and trades have already begun as we inch closer and closer to the draft here coming up next Friday. Kyle Dubas, the scenery around the NHL, it is setting up to where the Penguins could make a big trade here in the not too distant future. First thing is first, if you are new here to the channel, welcome, and please subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, feel free to like and share this video and comment in the comment section that you see on your screen there. I would love to hear any thoughts, opinions, and questions that you have. I can pop those up on the screen at a moment's notice, and we can interact that way. Like I just said, we are going to roll relatively quickly here through the live stream here today. Going to try to get today's live stream done before Game 2 of the Pirates and Tigers, which was originally scheduled to be in a little under an hour at 5:40, but now it has been pushed back to 6:10. We will talk about why that is here in a minute, but I want to start today talking a little bit about the Pittsburgh Steelers and their quest to get some reinforcements on their team. We can, talk to or blue in the face about the team needing to get a wide receiver too, maybe talk about them getting, involved at another position, maybe get another defensive lineman, tight end, Jonnu Smith. That's been a rumor for a couple of weeks now, but we are going to talk about the Steelers possibly pursuing Miami Dolphins corner Jalen Ramsey. We were on here yesterday and we broke down the deal that recently released Green Bay Packers corner Jair Alexander signed with the Baltimore Ravens, a 1-year, $6 million deal. Alexander signed to join the Steelers' nemesis Baltimore Ravens and his old college teammate in Lamar Jackson. That kind of sucks for us Pittsburgh Steelers fans because Alexander, even though he got cut from the Packers, it was more him just, wanting to get a fresh start somewhere else and him and the team sort of having a separating of ways. He's still got a lot of good football left in him, I believe. Jair Alexander does. Only 28 years old. Thought there was a good chance that the Steelers could, maybe influence him to come to Pittsburgh. Released from the Packers. We got a couple of former Packers players. Aaron Rodgers, of course. Also Dean Lowry on defense. So Alexander, he could have come here. I'm sure the Steelers, they could have afforded to give him $6 million or maybe even a little bit more. But unfortunately, that isn't the case. And now the Steelers, they will need to, maybe go look elsewhere and pivot to plan B. But I'm not calling Jalen Ramsey here a plan B whatsoever. I think he's got some good football left in him as well. He would definitely solidify the secondary. We currently have Deshaun Elliott and Minkah Fitzpatrick at the safety position. But even though we got, in my opinion, two solid starters at corner in Joey Porter Jr. and Darius Slay, behind those two, the depth is very, very skeptical. Let's say, hypothetically, one of them goes down with injury. Then you're stuck with a 7th-round pick a couple of years ago. But the Steelers are high on him in Corey Trice. Would not feel too comfortable having Corey Trice be the third outside corner out there at a moment's notice. So that's a little worrisome. And then beyond that, if Corey Trice can't go, then if you want to talk about strictly outside corners, not going to mention Beanie Bishop or Brandon Eccles too much here because they are mainly slot guys. behind Corey Trice, who's your number 3, you're going to James Pierre, a special teams guy who, you know, can't cover anything really at this point in his career. The only reason that he's on the Steelers is solely for special teams purposes. So I think that the need for a corner for the Pittsburgh Steelers is more dire than what some people may initially think. So getting Jalen Ramsey right now, in my opinion, aside from getting a wide receiver too, I would put it at the top of the list right now of things that they need to do. In fact, I'm actually putting it over getting a wide receiver too at this point. Some of you may think I'm crazy for saying that, but I think the plan of acquiring a wide receiver too at this point is pretty clear. Omar Khan, he is going to wait till around cut down time across the NFL once preseason gets underway and go snag a surprise cut candidate. Then we saw a few of those last year make significant contributions on other teams. One that comes to mind immediately that the Steelers should have signed was Noah Brown. He got cut from the Dallas Cowboys, or it was either the Cowboys or the might have been the Houston Texans instead. I think Noah Brown did play for each of those teams. I can't remember which one he was with last, but anyway, got cut right in the middle near the end of preseason. Washington Commanders scoop him up, and he was a fairly solid wide receiver too for that team that went all the way to the NFC Championship game. So if the Steelers, if they're going to wait for a wide receiver cut down to happen, I'm cool if they just, hold off and do it then. Getting a corner number 2 or 3 right now, that's something that you are not going to get once cut down starts. So go out, trade for Jalen Ramsey right now. I saw pictures out there of him training yesterday at UCLA. Why is that significant information? UCLA, where DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers got together and trained this offseason. So he's hanging out there. DK Metcalf liked a post from UCLA football. They're the ones that posted the pictures of Jalen Ramsey working out there. Also, Ramsey, not sure how recent this is, but I'm going to say it, just followed Cam Hayward on Instagram. So I want to say, hopefully that was recent, and he's just like reaching out to Cam maybe on his own volition here, saying, hey, I might, want to come there. I might end up there. Cam will sell him. I'm sure will sell Pittsburgh to him very, very well. Also, not sure if this is going to relate to any possibilities of getting Jalen Ramsey or not, but the Steelers today, they just made another opening on their roster. They cut running back Jonathan Ward. He was mostly just going to be a, camp body training camp and preseason guy, was with the team last year. Actually made the team's practice squad and stayed there for most of the year. He might have gotten elevated a time or two, but Jonathan Ward, running back in a now, seemingly solidified running back room with Kenneth Gainwell, Jalen Warren, and Caleb Johnson. Jonathan Ward's out. That leaves a spot open. Maybe it could be Jalen Ramsey time. What we would trade for him, I would say give up a 3rd round pick, maybe even a 2nd. I know you're still going to be taking on some salary for him, but just you would put yourself in a hole right now where you have a Joey Porter Jr. who had a major sophomore slump season, and a 34-year-old Darius Slay who's still, fairly good last year. I apologize if you can pick up the rain that is absolutely pounding off of my house and the metal roof right outside my window here. But Joey Porter Jr., who he's still, a question mark. Is he going to be able to bounce back from a penalty-riddled season? And also Darius Slay, even though he showed that he still played well last year, 34 years old, not many corners play well at the age of 34. And when they go downhill at 101 miles an hour. Shout out Shadur Sanders. Interested to hear what you guys think. Should we go get Jalen Ramsey? I am all for it at this point. You missed out on Jair Alexander. He decided to go with his college teammate and right now the better team in the Baltimore Ravens over his old buddy from Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers. So Jalen Ramsey time. If not, what other corners or defensive backs around the league do you guys think you can pick up? Let me know in the comment section below. We will have to see if Omar Khan has got any other moves up his sleeve here, as we are still in a fairly dead period of the NFL, where lots of teams and players are out of the office and going on vacations. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. Going to move on real quickly into the hockey world. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins for a second. The NHL season wrapped up 2 nights ago. Florida Panthers are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions, and since then, the NHL, trades and transactions around the league, they have already begun. We saw a couple of extensions get signed yesterday. We even saw a trade between the New Jersey Devils and Nashville Predators. Now the question is, when are the Pittsburgh Penguins going to get their offseason plans underway? Today, Frank Cervelli commented on the Pittsburgh Penguins and what they are thinking about doing this offseason. He says that Erik Karlsson is definitely on the table. No shock there. Teams are also calling. Teams are calling about Erik Karlsson, and some talking internally about trading him inside the Penguins. Other names available include Tristan Jarry. Would love to get that contract and player off the roster right now, because Jarry, all-star season, and then dude even struggles in the AHL at that point. Also, Brian Rust and Ricard Raquel, the 2 veteran wingers who are making around $5 million apiece, way overproducing for their salaries. They could be very, very valuable to a playoff team looking to maybe get over the hump. I think I saw something about possibly one of them going to Edmonton, get some better players in there around Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. I would hate to see those guys go there, but fortunately, there are a lot of teams in the NHL. They're looking towards moving towards contention, and the Penguins, they are looking to sell off teams and get bad, tank out for Gavin McKenna next year. So right now, you got to wonder if a trade is coming soon. It just feels like it. Also, David Pagnotta, another NHL insider today, he brought up that, and I didn't know that this was going to happen. So Brian Rust's no movement clause in his contracts will expire on July 1st, and then he will have no way of protecting himself or preventing a trade to any specific team. So Kyle Dubas will probably be hanging on to Brian Rust here for another couple of weeks, and then you may see him get traded then once the no movement clause is up. The reason why I say it feels like a Penguins trade could be coming soon, because Brian Rust's no movement clause is coming up, because Erik Karlsson is getting some calls about him. Also, teams are setting up to make moves that the Penguins definitely will be in on. 2 things that happened today. Matt Duchene, center for the Dallas Stars, he re-signed with Dallas on a 4-year, $18 million year, $4.5 million per year. The Dallas Stars, which they are slammed up against the cap, they re-signed Duchene. They now have under $500,000 in cap space. That's not even enough to sign a base minimum deal in the NHL. So they are going to be shipping out, bad contracts, and they might need to give up a lot to get that money off the books in general. That is where the Pittsburgh Penguins and Kyle Dubas can come in. Do not be surprised if you see Dubas get Dallas Stars general manager Jim Nill on the line, and he says, "Hey, I see you got, a bunch of, bad contracts on your books. Trying to think off the top of my head, defenseman Ilya Lyubushkin, another defenseman, Matt Dumba, former Minnesota Wild as well. Not sure who all forward-wise is, rough for them in terms of money right now. But Dubas, he could say, hey, I will take one of those contracts, hell, maybe even both, off of your hands. You send me back a couple of prospects, maybe a couple of draft picks. I've seen Maverick Bork's name thrown around. He's a highly touted, at least somewhat highly touted prospect for the Dallas Stars. He could be coming to Pittsburgh packaged in that deal, but that is where you could see the Pittsburgh Penguins come in, and that is where Kyle Dubas said that he will be making at least some of his trades this offseason. We've seen him do it a handful of times already during his tenure as general manager, getting Kevin Hayes from the, I believe it was the St. Louis Blues. Also got back a couple of draft picks there. We saw him get Philip Tomasino and more off of the Nashville Predators for, I think, an AHL forward. So you could see here Kyle Dubas get the Dallas Stars on the line, get a defenseman or a forward with a really bad contract, coupled with a couple of prospects and draft picks, and we could be talking about a trade here soon. Another team as well. I believe it was Frank Saravalli also who said that the Buffalo Sabres, they are going to be not necessarily entering into another rebuild, but they are going to be changing their core pieces this offseason. They are willing to ship out left-handed defensemen, young defensemen too, Bowen Byram, and forward JJ Peterka. Frank Saravalli also says that they are looking to get back a legit player, and more specifically, a right-handed defenseman. Penguins, they have a right-handed defenseman available. Erik Karlsson to the Buffalo Sabres. Pair him with Rasmus Dahlin and Owen Power and whatever defenseman they got up there. You give us in return, or I think I might have said Bowen Byram, Owen Power. Owen Power, Rasmus Dahlin, give him Erik Karlsson, another offensive-minded defenseman there. Get in return, I don't know, JJ Peterka or Bowen Byram. I wouldn't know how to, get that deal together, but that'd be a hell of a trade to make as well. Teams want Erik Karlsson and Brian Rust and Rickard Rakell. You have a market for them and you can sell them at a high price. Go ahead and do it. The Penguins, they're rebuilding while every other team is trying to contend again. That will fare very well for the Penguins in the Gavin McKenna sweepstakes for next year's draft. If everybody's trying to compete, the Penguins, they are going to tank out. They're going to recoup all these assets. They have a lot of cap space, so they can afford to take on some of these bad contracts right now, get some young prospects and draft picks in there. Things will be looking very bright, not for the present, but for the future of this hockey team. What is a move that you fans would like to see the Penguins move that or make this offseason? Move out Erik Karlsson, Rickard Rakell, Brian Rust, Ryan Graves, Tristan Jarry, someone like that. Let me know in the comments below. Going to do a quick stroll here through Twitter. We are now just about an hour away from first pitch of Game 2 of the doubleheader today between the Tigers and the Pirates. The Pirates have now put out their lineup for Game 2 of today's doubleheader. I will let you know what that is here in a moment. I'm not seeing nothing new on Twitter here, so we are going to continue with the talking about the Pittsburgh Pirates. Game 1 just wrapped up about a little over half an hour ago, and horrendous Game 1 of the doubleheader. Of course, there was a doubleheader today, not scheduled, but because last night's game got rained out, so they had a doubleheader today. It was supposed to start at 1:10, ended up starting at 1:50 due to another rain delay. And then once things got underway, it was all Tigers all day long for the most part. And the Pirates, they didn't do themselves any favors either. Pirates loaded up the bases against ace for the Tigers, Tarek Skubal, in the first inning, and they ended up getting no runs out of it. By the way, Tarek Skubal, best pitcher in the American League. Paul Skenes, best pitcher in the National League. Why the hell, when Skenes is going to be pitching here in an hour, why not just have him pitch against Tarek Skubal in Game 1, get best on best, the two best pitchers in the MLB facing each other? I have no idea. Donnie Kelly, I think, gave the excuse, someone gave the excuse for the Pirates. Oh, they want to try to, at least get a split here in, today's doubleheader. I don't care. The team is, 29 and 45, 46, something like that? Who the hell cares? I want to be entertained. If you're going to suck, at least entertain me while you suck. Come on. that was a golden opportunity missed. It would have had a lot of eyes of just MLB fans in general get away from like big market teams and tune into a random Pirates Tigers game. I'll tell you that much. But that sucks that we didn't get Skenes versus Skubal. Also, Jack Suwinski, he got recalled today. Apparently, you get a 27th man for a doubleheader. Jack Suwinski and his low 400s OPS in the majors this season. He is the 27th man for the ball club. Actually got into the afternoon game here today. But anyways, back to what happened in game one here today. Bucs got bases loaded against Skubal somehow. They ended up getting nothing out of it. No shocker there. Then the Tigers, they blew out the Pirates, but it was death by 1,000 paper cuts. Sacrifice fly made it 1-0. Sacrifice fly made it 2-0. Then Riley Green, the left fielder for the Tigers, he hit a triple that cleared the bases, or a double, excuse me, that cleared the bases, made it 5-0. Another double made it 6-0. 7-0 Tigers. They had another sac fly. Bucs, then they finally got one across the board, and really the only way they know how to, sacrificing an out for a run. Andrew McCutchen grounded out. That allowed recalled Billy Cook to score. That made it 7-1. Tiger said, nope, you didn't get enough sacrifice flies yet. 8-1, Zach McKinstry hit a solo home run. Then the Tigers hit their fourth sacrifice fly of the ball game. That made it 9-1. Bucs, they just said, hey, you guys hit 4 sac flies. Why don't we hit 1 too, just for good measure? Tommy Pham did that. That scored someone, I don't even know who, that did it for Tarek Skubal. He was fantastic, pretty much. Bucs actually did fairly well. They didn't do well. They did better than what I expected them to do against the reigning Cy Young Award winner, because I thought there was a hell of a chance that he was going to throw a no-hitter, or at the very least, shut out the Bucs, only giving up, 1 hit. So 9-2 was the final score. 4 sacrifice flies for Tigers. That's how they got 4 of their 9 runs. The Bucs getting beat at the only game that they can hope to play, which is, small ball. The Bucs, they're not a power team whatsoever. They put out one of the most abysmal lineups that I've ever seen them put out here today. Year 6 of the rebuild under Ben Cherington, by the way. And here was your lineup. Average at best hitting Nick Gonzalez, Andrew McCutchen, who's, your most consistent bat in the lineup. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's lighting the world on fire, but at least he's consistent. Joey Bart, who just came back from a concussion. Alexander Canario, who after a hot, couple of weeks, about a month ago now, he's fallen back into, obscurity, just a guy trying to hold on to a major league roster. Key Brian Hayes with absolutely zero pop or power in his bat whatsoever. You can go down to your local T-ball field and see more power coming off of the bat. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who's doing all right, I guess, at least number-wise this year. Jared Triolo, same thing, pretty much like half the roster. The good defense, but no bat whatsoever. Tommy Pham, who would have been DFA'd like 3 months ago if anybody else was running this team. Actually, I take that back. If anybody else was running this team besides Ben Cherington, he wouldn't even be here right now. And then Billy Cook, who is looking like most other prospects in this organization's pipeline. 4A players, crush AAA pitching, come up to the majors, do nothing. So that was the lineup today. A fireable offense on all accounts for Ben Cherington. Joe Starkey of 93.7 The Fan said that he actually popped his lid. I was listening to the radio today, reading that lineup out. So that was ugly game. Couldn't really care less to, listen in at some points of it. It's just watching the Pirates play baseball, especially the offense. It's like watching you get a disease and you have no way of preventing it. But that's how things went today for the Bucs in Game 1 of this doubleheader. Game 2 of the doubleheader, because Game 1 got delayed by about 40 minutes. Game 2 will begin here in a little under an hour, 55 minutes from now to be exact, at 6:10. So we will tune in to see how things go then. The lineup, like I just said, was submitted a minute ago. O'Neal Cruz in center field. He'll lead off in game 2. Of course, you couldn't play him in game 1 because Skubal, lefty, absolute dominant monster out there on the mound, and O'Neal Cruz can't hit lefties to save his life anymore. Andrew McCutchen will DH for the second straight game. Spencer Horwitz, another lefty, back in the lineup, batting third, playing first base. Nick Gonzalez will play in back-to-back games. He is at second base, hitting in the 4-hole. Adam Frazier in left field. Jared Triolo, after playing first base in game 1 today, he will play at third base in game 2. Jack Sawinski, who is the 27th man on the roster today, is in right field. Henry Davis catches Paul Skenes, of course. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa back in the 9 spot at shortstop. And Paul Skenes, who should have been appointment television against Tarek Skubal this afternoon, will get the nightcap game here in now 54 minutes. Maybe we can, if we can't see them go against each other, at least it's good to know that we got 2 Cy Young candidate pitchers pitching in the same day. Hopefully we get to see that matchup maybe later on this year when the Bucs, I think they host the Tigers at some point later this year. Going to say real quick before we continue on to the more Pittsburgh news segment of the program that if you have not done so already, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, feel free to like and share this live stream and comment in the live section. I would like to hear your guys' thoughts, opinions, and questions. Anything that's on your mind, you can get those in the comment section. I can pop those up here at a moment's notice. Going to move on now to the more Pittsburgh news story segment of the program. Not much extra news here today. Starting with football here. Happy birthday to Steelers wide receiver Roman Wilson. Looking forward to a big upcoming season from Roman Wilson, by all accounts. And I know it's just, mini camp and OTAs where everyone is supposed to look like an absolute game changer, but Roman Wilson looks healthy, looks fast, look ready to have a breakout season, really a breakout rookie season for him. Only was suited up for 1 game last year in which he played just 5 snaps. So Roman Wilson, the former Michigan Wolverine, 3rd-round pick after an injury-riddled season last year. Looking forward to him being a hopefully key part of this offense next season for the Steelers. While we celebrate Roman Wilson's birthday, Steelers fans, they are going to celebrate the retirement of linebacker C.J. Mosley. Mosley never suited up in the black and gold, but he did suit up in Baltimore Ravens black and purple. Also was a member of the New York Jets. Mosley, have nothing against the guy, personally. It's not like he was a malicious, character or player when he would, play the Steelers as a Raven. But we got to remember back when the Steelers, they just needed the rookie Baker Mayfield-led Cleveland Browns to beat the Baltimore Ravens in the final game of that regular season. Mosley, I believe, picked off Baker on their attempted game-winning drive, and that really hurt a lot of Steelers fans, keeping them out of the playoffs that year. So congratulations on a good career, and thank you for keeping the Steelers out of the playoffs at one time, C.J. Mosley. Also, Steelers news here. How about Cam Hayward? Rarely you see him I can't say rarely that you see him on Twitter, like go at people. He does do it occasionally from time to time, mainly when, people comment negatively about the Steelers team as a whole. But instead, he went at another Pittsburgh Steeler, former Pittsburgh Steeler, Antonio Brown. Apparently, Brown posted yesterday on his Twitter, which who the hell even knows if it's him tweeting stuff out at this point. He tweets the most crazy and obscene stuff, all while having a warrant out for him in Miami, and he is currently on vacation in Abu Dhabi. But anyways, he tweeted out a picture calling Cam Hayward Magic Johnson's son. Do not get this photo or meme, whatever the hell Antonio Brown posted about Cam Hayward. But Cam, he clapped back at AB, said, "Good thing you can't spell AB, spelling Hayward H-A-W or Hayward when there's a E instead of an A at the beginning of Hayward there." So Cam Hayward saying, "Good thing you can't spell. Let me know when you get back in the States." Absolutely roasting AB there. That really got a good kick out of everyone in the comment section. And can't blame Cam. Sucks that AB's football career and life went so downhill. And Cam Hayward, he's kind of like a dad figure in the, not only just for the Steelers, but in the NFL. And that is him trying to humble a deranged Antonio Brown at this point. Moving back into the baseball world here for 1 second. One extra story today on the Pittsburgh Pirates, aside from them getting their asses kicked in Game 1 of the doubleheader, and most likely going to get their asses kicked, barring another Superman performance from Paul Skenes in Game 2. They made a signing today. Is it a signing that is going to impact the major league club? Absolutely not. Francis Romero, he is kind of like a national, I think he's a national reporter for the Baseball Writers Association of America. He mainly covers, Dominican and international signings, both for major league teams and for prospects going into teams' pipelines as a part of the MLB's international program. Anyway, he reported today that the Bucs did make a signing. They have signed right-handed pitcher Roylan Portuondo. He is expected to start in the Double-A level, says Francis Romero. He is 26 years old. He agreed to a deal with the Pirates today. He has experience in Japan, Cuba, and the winter leagues that take place all around the world. Romero finishes up his tweet on the Bucs signing Portuondo, saying his arsenal includes a 94 to 97 mile an hour fastball, a changeup, sinker, and sweeper. So fairly nice pitch arsenal there. Wonder if this is a sort of, immediately he is going to report to Double-A. If so, once Connor Griffin gets to Double-A here, hopefully soon, maybe I will attend a couple Altoona Curve games, and maybe I get to see this person in action, this newest member of the Pirates, and give you guys a bit of a report on what I see of him. So, welcome to the Bucs, Roylan Portuondo. Last two things here, this time on the hockey front. Pat McAfee of the Pat McAfee Show on ESPN, he officially has jumped on the bandwagon of the Pittsburgh Penguins, saying, "Screw a rebuild, we don't need to do that. Instead, just go out and trade for, or when he becomes a free agent next year, sign Connor McDavid. McDavid should think about coming to the Pens," were McAfee's words exactly. 0.0001% chance that McDavid ever comes to Pittsburgh. Probably, speculating on where McDavid might go. Definitely, I think if he does not re-sign with Edmonton, he will join an American city, get out of Canada, and he might go to, a big market where, say he goes out, there's less pressure on him, in playing hockey in Canada, in Edmonton, one of their top hockey markets. There's a lot of pressure on you, and you can't just take a stroll down the street going about your days. He might come, here to the States and, go to a big market, maybe in LA, Chicago, New York, and just go live, his own life, take some pressure off of him, go to a young team with a lot of good pieces looking to make a push for the playoffs and get ready to compete for the Stanley Cup. Penguins, they could be in that position here this time next year if they get the first overall pick and Gavin McKenna, but we'll see. Doubt it's going to happen, but hey, never say never on Connor McDavid coming to the Penguins. Last thing here related to a former member of the Penguins organization, Rick Tocchet, who is the newest head coach for the Philadelphia Flyers. Hate that, not for Tocchet, but hate that as a Penguins fan because Tocchet as the Flyers head coach, that couldn't be a more perfect match between head coach and team in the team he's coaching, especially in that bloodthirsty market of Philadelphia. But anyway, Rick Tocchet there, he's beginning to fill out his new coaching staff, kind of like how the Penguins began that yesterday, hiring Nick Bonino. He is going to be filling his coaching staff, according to Frank Saravalli here, with heavy progress being made on him adding former Penguins assistant coach Todd Reirden to his bench. Reirden has spent his entire NHL coaching career in the Metropolitan Division with the Penguins and with the Washington Capitals. Not sure what other team he might have been a part of their coaching staff. But yeah, another Penguins coach from the past couple of years will be staying in the division as the Penguins. So now the Pens, they will need to face Rick Tocchet and Todd Reirden and Mike Sullivan up in New York and whatever other coaches are in the Penguins division. Maybe even Sergei Gonchar here soon. Gonchar, I know he's a, free agent coach. I'm surprised he isn't thinking about going to Philadelphia with Tocchet as well. So that does it for the news here today. Going to take one last stroll here through Twitter, see if we have any new news going on. Another thing, for the Connor McDavid possibilities of him going places, I did hear someone say, what if he does the whole if you can't beat him, join him, thing, and he goes down to Florida? People make a big hullabaloo, even though it, doesn't have, too much to do with people signing. What if he goes down to the Panthers in Florida? No state taxes. People are making a big deal about that right now. We'll see if there's ever a thought of that here within the next year or so. With that, not seeing too much other new news here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just check one more thing here. Yeah, that is looks like it's going to be it here today. Not much news besides the Bucs. They're going to be in action here coming up here at 6:10. We now officially know the pitcher for the Detroit Tigers. Paul Skenes was going to pitch today, no matter what. But the Tigers, they just had a to-be-announced pitcher up until now, Tyler Holton, 2-3 record this year, 4.09 ERA. He will oppose Paul Skenes. So looks like we are gonna get, instead of a matchup of two Titans between Skenes and Skubal, the two Titans, Skubal and Skenes, will be facing the bottom of the rotation pitchers for each of these teams. Fun. All right, we will need Paul Skenes to have a performance of a lifetime, the way this offense is trending right now for the Bucs, and that is going to do it for the final time. 5 of you in here right now. Thank you for joining me here this evening. Like and share and comment on this live stream. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I'm live again. Also, I said this yesterday, but I will reiterate it again. Just like on YouTube and Twitter, there is now a new Instagram account for the channel. Still same username right there, Still City SR. So go give that a follow when you have the time to do so. Would appreciate it if we can get the followers on that account up really quickly. Appreciate you all for joining me here tonight. Let's see how well the Bucs do in game 2. Hopefully a whole hell of a lot better than they did in game 1. See if they can salvage at least one game out of this series against the Tigers. Thank you all for joining me here tonight. Enjoy the rest of your Thursday evening. I will see you guys back here tomorrow around the same time. Well, actually a little bit later, probably around this time between 5:30 and 6 o'clock. 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, actually. We will wrap up the week here on the channel, talk about what the Bucs did in tonight's game and any other news that happens to come across the wire. Thank you all for joining me. See you guys back here tomorrow with some more Pittsburgh sports news. Have a good night, everyone. Good night. Goodbye. Peace.